In this Framer tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build these stacking cards where each card animates in as you scroll and stays pinned to the top of the viewport until the stack is complete. This is a great effect for testimonials, services, statistics even, or any kind of list that you want to present in a more interactive way. And before we dive in, if you'd rather skip the build and just use a ready-made component, I recommend you check out Scroll Stack. This is completely customizable from the Properties panel, and it comes with 4 ready-to-use demos you can copy straight into your project. The component is available on the Framer Marketplace, and you can find a link in the video description. So if you're looking for the fastest way, check out the component. Otherwise, let me show you the technique you can use so you can do it yourself. Let me show you what we're starting with. We have 1, 2, 3 sections defined in Framer. Sections 1 and 2 are just placeholders that have a fixed width. This middle section is for testimonials. This is where we're going to add our cards. It has a layout applied to it, and its height is set to fit its contents. So let's start by adding our cards. I'm going to press F to create a new frame, and I'm simply going to drag a random size, and I'm going to grab this and I'm going to put it under section testimonials. Then Control or Command R to rename this to testimonial card. Inside, I'm going to press T to bring up the text tool, and I'm going to paste in my testimonial text. Then I'm going to select the card again. I'm going to add a layout to it. It's going to be a vertical layout. I'm going to set the alignment for now to the left. I'm going to set a padding of 20 pixels, and I'm going to set a border radius of 20 pixels. Now select the text inside, and I'm going to change its width from fit to fill, so it fills up the entire available space. Let's make this a little bit bigger, and let's duplicate that text element. And let me actually zoom in so you can see everything better. We're gonna type out the testimonial author here, and then duplicate this again, Control or Command D, and we're gonna say founder at Bloom. This represents the author details or position. Select both of these text elements, press Shift-A to add them to a stack, and we'll set the gap in between to 4 pixels. And now let's set the overall gap in this card to 120, just like that. And we're going to set its height to fit content. Good stuff. Next up, let's change the card background. So I'm going to select testimonial card, scroll down, click on fill, and we're going to use EF B786. Now I'm going to select all the text elements, and I'm going to set their color to black, 80% opacity. So they borrow a little bit of that background color. Next, let's select the quote text and change its text properties. Let's remove this style from here, and I'm going to change the font to plus Jakarta Sans. I'm going to use semi-bold as a weight. Size is going to be 26 pixels, and the line height is going to be 1.2 ems. Let's make this card a little bit wider. Let's select the author text. I'm going to do the same thing here, change the font, but to make things easier for us, let's select the quote text, right-click, go to Copy, Copy Style, select both of these text elements, right-click, Paste, Paste Style. Now, all we have to do is change the size on the author text to 18 pixels, also semi-bold, and I'm going to increase the line height to 1.4, and then the detail text, I'm going to change it to 14 pixels, line 1.4, and I'm going to use regular as the text weight. Great, so now we have one card. We need to repeat the same process for the other cards. But to make our life easier, let's turn this into a component. So select it, right click, create component. We're going to call it testimonial card and hit create. Now, I'm not going to create any variants for this property, but instead I want to create some variables because I want this to be customizable from the properties panel. So let's think about this. What do we need to change on each card? We need to change the background color and we need to change the text contents. So select the card, go to the fill property right here, click create variable color, and let's call this card fill. Next, let's select the text. And again, we're going to go to the properties panel where it says content, click create a variable plain text. I'm going to call this quote text and click outside. Next, we can do the same for the rest. Select the author text, go to content, create a variable plain text, and you can actually see those. Author text. And finally, select this. Same thing, go to content, create a variable, plain text, author details. Awesome. So now we can click back to home. And now this is a fully configurable component. If we look back in the properties panel under testimonial card, you can see that we can change the card fill, the quote text, the author text, and also the author details. Now let's create the other testimonial cards. So select this, duplicate, and duplicate one more time. And let's actually select these three, Shift A to add them to a new stack, and we'll set the gap to 80 pixels. And let's select each one and set its width to fill container. And now we're free to just resize the parent element to any size we want. Like so. I'm going to keep it at around 400 pixels. Now, let's create 3 more cards. So duplicate, 1, 2, 3. So now we have 6 cards in total. And I'll go ahead and change the text content for each one. And so for the last one, we're going to say Chris Owens, founder at Dusk Labs. So all the text content is now unique to each card. Let's change the background colors. For the second card, we're going to be using 8C, D5, AF. For this third card, we'll use E3CB63. For the fourth card, F2, F1, F0. For the fifth card, ED6E4D. And finally, for the sixth card, we'll use B8, DA, F1. Good stuff. So now if we hit Command or Control P to preview, this is what we have. Now, currently, these are not doing anything special. It's just a list of cards that we can scroll through. The behavior that we want is the following. When we get to about this point, each card becomes sticky. It becomes pinned to the top of the viewport. So it kind of stays there while we scroll down the page. And this happens to every single card. Now, the way we can achieve that is with the card positioning. So we can select all the cards in our stack, and we'll go to the properties panel under position. We need to change this from relative to sticky. And once we do that and we preview, you'll see the cards are now sticking to the top of the viewport as I'm scrolling down. But if I scroll past a certain point, those cards will scroll away. That's what position sticky is doing. Now, if this doesn't work for you, and in some cases it doesn't, you need to check that every single parent element is using overflow visible. So the first parent element is this stack, which we can rename to cards just to make it easier. So you would select that and you would go to the properties panel and make sure overflow is set to either clip or visible, one of these two. What's important is that it is not set to hidden. You do the same with the other elements. The next parent up the chain is section testimonials, right? You would check that. Overflow is currently set to clip. And then the next parent is the desktop breakpoint itself. And as you can see, mine is also set to clip. Now, our cards, surely enough, they stick to the top, but I would like some variety on how they are displayed. So I don't want them to stack one on top of the other so I can't see what's behind each card. I want them to be kind of spread out a little bit. And we can achieve that effect with scroll transforms. Let's select each card. We'll go to Effects, click on Scroll, and select Scroll Transform. Trigger is going to be on scroll. And here we have two options, from and to. This is how an animation takes place. We go from one set of properties to another set of properties. And those properties we have complete control over. If we open the first box here, the from, we can see how these cards look like when the animation begins. By default, we start with a 50% opacity and a 50% scale. So they are made smaller in the beginning. And then if we click on 2, this represents the end point of the animation, or how the elements will look like when the animation ends. In this case, by default, they have opacity 1 and scale 1. This means they're normal size and opacity. So just by applying the defaults, this is how our cards look like. As you can see, when we scroll, yeah, they kind of get bigger and bigger, and their opacity also increases until I get to the end of my animation where the cards are fully transitioned. But I don't want this particular effect. I want the cards to start with their normal opacity and their normal size, but I want the end point properties to be different. So here's what I mean by that. Let's select all of the cards again, click on the transform effect. From, we're going to set this to 1 and scale to 1. So I'm not affecting their start properties in any way. However, the ending properties will look different. I want a rotation, let's say -4, and I want an offset, let's say -100 pixels. And an offset basically moves that element on the x-axis, which means horizontally, or on the y-axis, which means vertically. And if you set a negative value on the x-axis, it's going to move it to the left. If you use a positive value, it's going to move it to the right. And for the y-axis, a negative value will move it up. A positive value will move it down. Let's preview. And you'll see that the cards are now starting to animate differently, right? But they're cut off. That's because the parent element here is using overflow clip. Overflow basically means that whatever content goes beyond the boundaries of that element are clipped, they're hidden, right? So we can change that to visible. So now if we preview again, the cards are now animating, right? But they're all going in the same direction. They're all using the same properties for the end of the animation, which means they're all going to the left and they're all rotating to the left as well by 4 degrees. Let's add some variety to this. So we'll select the second card and click on the scroll transform to, I'm not going to rotate this one. And instead, I'm going to use a slightly lower offset, -50. So in this context, the card is going to be positioned a little bit more towards the right side. Next, select the third card. This one is going to use 4 degrees of rotation, so the other way, and the offset is going to be 0, which means it's going to keep its original position. The fourth card, I'm going to do -4 rotation and +50 as the offset, so it's going to go on the right side of the previous card. Card number 5. Let's add a more aggressive rotation to this one with 8 degrees and 100 pixels positive, which means 100 pixels to the right of the starting point. And then the last card, I'm going to keep the -4 and I'm going to add 120 as the offset. So a little bit further to the right. So by changing the rotation values of these cards individually, we now have the following effect. They will still pin to the top of the viewport, but their final position is now, and rotation is now different for each one. Yeah, creating this very interesting stack of cards. And if you would like them to pin further down than the top of the viewport, you can select all of them. And right here at the top, under sticky position, you have a top offset. Let's set this to about 80 pixels. It doesn't matter what value you want. Basically, this is going to be the distance from the top of the viewport where those cards will pin. So now this is what our animation looks like. You can see the cards are now pinning further down, which is exactly the effect that we want. And that's it. I hope you found this video useful. And remember, if you don't want to build this from scratch every time, you can check out the component I mentioned earlier in the video. You'll find a link to it in the video description. That saves you a lot of time. It's highly customizable. Plus, you get 4 different demos already built for you that you can just copy and paste in your project. So thanks for watching, and if you want more tutorials like this, drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.